Okay, I'm going to show you guys number 14, the key plate, just because it's really the first time you're going to have to make curves on here. So I know the one drawing before you're making like some holes or circles, and those are relatively easy, but the curves take a little bit extra. So I went ahead and centered uh, my image on my paper where I needed to go. See my math down here. And I'm going to start first with these center marks here. All right, that's what I want to start with. I want these center marks because these do a couple of things. These have the spacing of where everything is for the layout, and these holes are all measured apart, and the center lines or center marks are shared not only with these circles or holes, but with these arcs as well. So you're going to use these twice, so those are kind of important to start with. So let's find the middle first because it doesn't have anything really. Well, actually, we don't have to start at the middle. We can start right here with this dimension. That's a kind of an important dimension here. That one. And it says 1R. That means 1 inch radius. Okay, so from here to here is 1 inch. But you have to remember that's an arc. So imagine this stays here like on a string and it swings around here. So that means it's 1 inch everywhere from here all the way to here. It also means that it's 1 inch all the way up to here. So this is 1 inch away. So to find these center marks, all we really have to do is on our paper, go over 1 inch and up 1 inch. And we should be right where the center marks are. So I'm going to go over 1 inch like that. Go really lightly up. 1 inch like this. While I'm at it, do 1 inch down here like that. My mark is this one. I'm going to put this over here too. One inch over for this one. Okay. So now I know where those centers are for these corners and these holes here where there's 3/4 drill. This is the same as like diameter. So 3/4 drill means they're drilling a hole through here. So when you're using a drill bit, you need to know the diameter, and it's 3/4. So there's 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can find your circle template, one that you should have at your desk, and find the hole that is 3/4 of an inch in diameter, which is right here, and line up our guidelines. One there. One here. Oh, I just messed up. Not paying attention. And that's going to be a tough one to erase too. What a dummy. Whoops. All right. So there's my 4 holes for the 4 corners. Now what I want to do is I want to do these curves. These are bigger. We have a 1 inch radius. So that means 2 inch in diameter. So you're going to need the bigger template. And you're going to need to get the 2 inch hole right here, this one. This one now, you line up same way, but we're only going to use 1/4 of that curve. Now, this is one reason why I like the templates is you can align it. So I'm aligning it to all my marks here, but I'm also giving my template a little bit of space for the pencil lead so that blends in. I don't want it to go like that. I don't want it to go like that. Like this. Like this. Now I have my curves on there. Now I can know that I need to darken that line in. And I know that I'm going to need this line here. I know I'm going to need a line there. I know I'm going to do that top one a little bit darker too, so that my line quality is kind of consistent throughout. Okay, so I do those arcs. Now if I want to finish, now I know I'm 2.5 over from the center marks, right? So 2.5 over from the center marks right here. Lightly go up. And then 1 1/4 up from the center marks will get me to the middle. So that's the complete center of the object. I'm going to need these later on too. So there's one big circle right in the middle of this thing. It's 3 inches. Find the 3-inch one. This I'm going to do slightly lighter just because it's got some other things intersecting it. If I wanted to, I could always go back and darken it a little bit later. And what I need to do next is I want to do these two. So these are 3/4. That'd be a diameter, right? They're telling you the width of them, so 3/4 in diameter. So I can go back to my smaller one. Lines up with these. So again, 3/4. But I'm only going to draw half of it. Some people like to draw all of it and then have their lines go in and intersect. I'm not one of those people. I want to do half. Then over here, the left-hand side, I want to do half. Okay. Then I need those lines to come in and intersect. Here. Right there. It's a tad bit off right there. Just a touch there. There. And I don't have these anymore. I don't have this anymore. Then I have these little keys. These are called key slots. Okay, so big little slot for the key. It's going to extend 3/8 up from this edge of the circle. So all you really have to do is do a 3/4 down here. Draw your line straight up to the intersect here. Once you intersect, go up 3/8. So it's not too bad. So 3/4. Just split the difference right there. Then I have it at the top and bottom. It's going to go down 3/8. Whoa, I barely got that. 1, 2, 3. And now you can kind of see how it's kind of taken form a little bit. Don't need any of this. Don't need any of this. Now, the only thing I really have left to do, I would, because I kind of like that, I want this one darkened in. I want these darker than they were. And if you're going to do that, just be careful. Take the extra second to make sure everything's aligned. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a big double line. I want that a little bit darker. I want that a little bit darker. Make sure this is flat. Mine's like peeling up because I'm being lazy and I have it on top of my T-square. That one. And that one. So it looks a little bit cleaner. Okay, now just time to dimension. Okay, and center lines. So obviously we're not going to have these, but we could make these a little bit longer. I always tell people, especially when you're laying out the holes, the center marks for your holes, you can always make them a little bit longer because chances are you're going to have to use them as dimension lines. So don't need anything over here. Obviously these need to have a little bit of a break in them because they are center marks. So more like that. And then these, mine doesn't really extend right here like it does on yours. That's I'm not going to be too particular. I'm doing this erasing with a big fat eraser. You're probably going to want to use your erasing shield to do this, or at least a sharper eraser. These, we're going to have these breaks in them here. Get rid of all this. And then you can use your center marks as your extension lines for your dimensions. It's broken like this. And then you can start dimensioning. So a bunch of erasing on this one. If you didn't get an eraser from me, I suggest getting one. I've got them for you. So I'm not going to dimension the whole thing, but I'm going to do some just to get you guys started so you guys can see. Okay, and then we don't ever want to forget our Terminators. Some people may ask, well, you said never to touch. These look like they're touching. These are coming off of center lines. So we know those aren't part of the object. Okay, we can kind of clearly define and see what the object is here because these dimensions are coming off of extension lines. So if there was no center here, there was some other edge we were taking it to, they don't touch. But on a center mark, the center marks are literally on top of the object. So it's okay that they are overlapping this line here. So other than that, you'll just dimension it the same way you see on here. Leave all the dimensions on there. For these that are on angle, all you really want to do, some people like to use the triangles to go like this. You can do that. Just be sure you have a straight edge on there and that it goes through the center. So we're going like this. Let's leave a space for our dimension. Like that. And let's go. This is actually called a leader line. Out here. And we can say this is going to be 3. And if you want to say it's 3 in diameter, we could always say 3 diameter. Okay, so only left to do is some erasing on here, and some finishing up of the dimensioning so it looks like this. And then you'll be all set. That's number 14.